Hello, I'm Wendy Wilson, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Realizing Potential. Today, I'm joined by two representatives who work hand in glove with our armed forces and the impact that entity has as it relates to higher education. And so I'd like to welcome none other than my colleague, Ms. Alexandria Bynum, and then also Staff Sergeant Shakirea Phillips. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. Let's share with our viewers your roles, your background as it relates to the military. We have one in uniform today, and how that then corresponds to Albany State University. And I'll begin with, we always want to recognize and honor our armed forces. And so Staff Sergeant Shakirea Phillips, we'll begin with you. Tell us a little bit about your journey in the military and your work with Albany State University.
Yes, ma'am. So I've been in the National Guard. I'm in the Georgia Army National Guard. That's one of the three components of active duty Army. So there's active duty, there's reserve, and there's National Guard. I did all 13 years in the National Guard. During my 13, I actually started in college. I was at Savannah State University, and I realized that college was very expensive and I couldn't afford it anymore. And I started getting loans, student loans. So one of my friends came home from our Christmas break and she was like, hey, I joined the Guard. They're paying for my college. So I did it too. 13 years later, here I am. But I've been on 3 deployments. I've been to Afghanistan twice and Iraq once. I've traveled all over the United States as well as other countries. But the Georgia Army National Guard I volunteer for that. The Georgia Army National Guard is actually an entity that is stationed within the state of Georgia. We are home-based. All of our soldiers actually are stationed in one of the 60 armories around the state of Georgia. We have one here in Albany, actually, and on post. So I've done military police. I've done supply logistics on the aviation side, and my MOS is also aviation operations. I stop helicopters and drones from crashing into each other. But right now,
impressive. We can just stop there for a second. That's quite impressive. I do want to come back to you, but I also want to tie into how your work is or coincides, or your involvement with Albany State University.
Yes.
I love the piece that you shared, that you made a decision, you understood or encountered that college can be expensive. Depending upon the institution. And we like to pride ourselves in that Albany State is affordable, but even those students who are currently matriculating here still have some challenges, and we try to support them. But those that are involved in the military certainly have a plethora of benefits, and that's where our representative and liaison that we have here, Alexandria Bynum, she helps to support that. But Alexandria, introduce yourself, tell the viewers what your role is and the positive impact that you make with the armed forces and military.
So my role is I'm the director of military and adult education. So we serve all military who are active, like the 3 categories that Staff Sergeant Phillips referred to. So that could be active, reserve, or National Guard. We also serve all of our military dependents and spouses. So there are federal benefits and there are state benefits that you can take advantage of. I also serve everyone over the age of 23. But what's unique about the partnership that Albany State University has, and we're one of only 13 schools that has this partnership with the Army National Guard, is Staff Sergeant Phillips is here right on campus. And the state of Georgia will pay 100% of your tuition if you join the National Guard. And that is completely unique than any of the other branches. And so the fact that Albany State not only has a partnership like the National Guard, we also just announced that starting this summer, everyone who's currently serving has institutional fees waived. So we're taking you to the lowest tuition rate. So my office's job is just to take care of those military students, whether you're actively serving or your parents served, ensure you're getting the right benefits, ensure you're getting the right resources and scholarships, and to bring people like Staff Sergeant Phillips in, because I always say, you don't know what opportunity you may have. And we were just talking to a young lady who may qualify for bonuses. So money just because she scored high on the ASVAB. So I really am proud of Albany State for making this partnership, because now students can know, is this an opportunity that works for me? Or is this an opportunity that doesn't work for me? Right. But at least you know if that's something you should be looking at. And for me, serving 2 days out of the month and be able to have all of my college paid for when I'm working on my PhD and I'm paying student loans. If I had known of the opportunities, because I'm a civilian, and what we do for military, a lot of people think is all encompassing, and it's not. The resources are hidden. They're in different little spots. And Albany State has made sure that there's somebody here to help them navigate and to help that partnership.
Absolutely. I remember when the Army National Guard first approached us, I was a part of that conversation with colleague who's Vice President Sean McGee. And I was absolutely taken aback in terms of the services that are provided, or the level of support that was being extended to these individuals, and then to have a presence. It was a no-brainer on our part. It took some while. We stalled for a minute, again, COVID, victims of that. But anyway, I was delighted to learn that we moved past that, the stall was over, and that you actually have a physical presence, are able to engage with our students and let them know of this amazing opportunity. College and university experience can be stressful enough. Just trying to, navigate and making the adjustment to that life, and the demands of the rigorous coursework, go on and on and on. And then you need to have that balance as well. So it could be very challenging to then couple that with, how am I going to pay for it? It takes a toll, and it's taxing on just the whole matriculation process itself. It can be. So if you can extract something away from that hinders your progress or lessens the challenge, all the better. All the better. Tell what does the recruitment process look? What's and both of you all can kind of share that. How are you all showcasing and presenting this to students?
So basically, what me and Alex have been doing, we've been trying to gain access to like certain, So what I tried to do was I have door hangers. So I've been placing door hangers on the dorm room doors with my contact information on them. Alex is right now setting up a table setup for Fried Chicken Wednesdays. So we're going to do that. And then, of course, this asu-tv interview.
Okay. Well, very good. Very good. And we'll have to connect you with some other resources and colleagues on campus. I know you mentioned the Fried Chicken Wednesdays. We're trying to transition to much more healthier diets and lifestyle. And so a lot of gatherings. In fact, today is one of our wellness days. And so we'll have to find some other ways in which you can connect and certainly get more involved and have that face and presence with our students. And so certainly student activities and engagement, student affairs, they should be able to assist with that as well. Career services, the whole like. So I'll certainly do my part. A lot of people, Staff Sergeant, still have some reservations. How can I do all of this? You say 2 days out of the month, but what if something happens that's going to require more of my time? How do I then still balance school? Can you speak to that? If we have some potential recruits out there,
yes.
Invite them.
Yes, ma'am. So basically with the National Guard, like you said, it's and Alex said, it's 2 days a month. So when you look at it in a year's time frame, it's 36 days a year. That's all you're serving. And your 100% of your tuition is being paid. And not only that, those 2 days a month that you're working, you're getting paid for that as well. Mm. And depending upon your GT score, your ASVAB score, you get bonuses. There's bonuses available. There's a GI Bill that can be paired with the tuition assistance that's more money. But speaking on the time-wise, the National Guard is very it's family. We're a family out of anything. So if you have an issue with, you have other things, prior engagements or family emergencies and things like that, those are situations where you come to your sergeant and let them know what's going on. And we're going to make sure you're okay. We're going to make sure you're not going to have to show up to drill when it's impossible because you have other obligations. So it's not like active duty where it's constant work and constant presence. There's multiple ways of negating from have to actually be at your unit to serve.
Very
and
good.
then I'll just add on to that.
Please.
Is that not only does the National Guard itself support its students, ASU does too when it comes to the academic side as well. And so when you join the National Guard, you're entitled for things such as free tutoring resources. Well, they will pay you $100 to have somebody tutor you. And so they are focused on your academic journey in addition to your military journey, because they know that education is the pathway. And what it's shown is if we can remove financial barriers and you have somebody who's right here for you that's making sure that you're taken care of with Staff Sergeant Phillips, with tutoring resources, with federal education benefits resources, like I said, is all of those things kind of remove barriers. And so if you think about having a part-time job, you are going to spend more hours in that part-time job and probably make less money than you would 2 days out of the year or 2 days out of the month, doing the National Guard. So we're trying to make your academic journey as easy as possible. And the great thing about the National Guard too is if you are ever deployed. So this semester, we did have students who were deployed for the Capitol. So in Georgia, those are the things that you're going to be dealing with. That if you are joining the Georgia National Guard, you're dealing with, and I'm sorry, Staff Sergeant Phillips is better. Is it natural
disasters and national disasters?
So you're talking about tornadoes, floods, things that are affecting our immediate area. But our office sends an email to your professors and says, hey, they were put on emergency orders. They had to go to the Capitol. I didn't have a single professor who responded and said, I can't work with this student. And so we as ASU have policies to protect you if you're part of the military as well.
Thank you for sharing that. And Alex, I had the pleasure at one point of my career where I was also focused on non-traditional adult students. And I was always struck by the fact that they have oftentimes this great apprehension about, can I do this? I have a family, I have a full-time job, I'm in the military. The list was long. I was never disappointed because they are some of the most ideal and most dedicated and focused students that you will ever encounter. So how do you go about that recruitment process? And even while they're here saying, let me help to make your life so much more easier by letting you know the long list of services that Albany State University provides?
First off is having an open door. We are always open to you. And I always say, I don't care what the question is about, just ask. Is that we'll go find the answer for you. And that's the number one thing that ASU has that I am so proud that I joined this community, is that we are living in a city full of veterans. We are 2 blocks away from the Marine Logistics Foundation. The support I get from ASU is phenomenal. And so all anyone has to do is make themselves known. If you send an email to veterans@asurams.edu, and you mentioned adult learners, and I just kind of wanted to tie those two together. A lot of adult learners always come to me and say, I love the idea of the National Guard, but I'm too old to join. You can be all the way up to 34 years old and join the National Guard. So like it's never too late to finish your education, it's only too late if you're 35 years old. Thankfully, I'm 35 years old, so I am out of that.
Well, I'm far beyond the 35-year mark.
No, there's age waivers.
I'm not going to talk you into a waiver. But there's lots of opportunities adult learners can take advantage of as well. Mm-hmm. And when you balance the resources with the time, there's more resources provided by joining the military and being involved than there actually is the time that you're going to put in. And my average age is 24 years old for my military students. It's 28 for an adult. So I think there's 18-year-old, for those that don't know, by 2025, that's gone, this traditional 18-year-old. So college is forming more towards these, and I hate the word, non-traditional, because you're not non-traditional, is everyone has a unique path through college. And my path was nothing like Staff Sergeant Phillips' path. But guess what? We both pursued an academic career. And so whatever your decision to pursue that academic career is, whether that's I just graduated high school or I've been out of college and I want to go for free because I'm 63 years old, we're here for you.
Yeah. I forgot about that one too. Yeah. And thank you for correcting me. And I know that there's been a change. I'm dating myself when I say the non-traditional, and I know that, and I apologize. I know that we've evolved beyond that, but you're absolutely right. It also kind of separates from the group, and we don't want to do that. Yeah, everybody's a student, just bringing a diverse and unique sets of experiences. Hats off to you, Staff Sergeant, because you obviously are the great recruiter. I love that piece that you shared a moment ago about their age waivers. So don't get stuck on the 35. Yeah. So there's still a window is still open. Alex, if you want to make that leap into that world, and it is very honorable and admirable. And again, as I'm sure all three of us can certainly attest to and affirm, that having the pursuit of post-secondary education is absolutely life-altering. It opens unimaginable doors and experiences. It's also very sobering, because the more you know and the more you learn, you realize there's the more that I need to know and learn. But that should be, again, a lifelong pursuit. But again, the opportunities that await you, because you've shown that commitment and demonstrated service to the pursuit of education, it is appreciated, and again, welcomes you in spaces otherwise that you would not be invited to. So you all have exemplified that and continue to do that. Go ahead, Alex. You want to?
No, I was just going to say, and now imagine you're applying for jobs. And so you not only have your education experience of saying, yeah, I got my degree, you also have years in service. And what a lot of people don't know is that companies get tax breaks for hiring veterans. Wow. And so if you are looking at two resumes and both of you graduated with communications and one of you is in the National Guard, who do you think they're going to choose?
Yes.
So you're empowering yourself now by being debt-free. You're empowering the future jobs that you're going to have, where you're probably going to get paid more money because you're getting them tax benefits just from being a military veteran. Because everyone thinks of lifers when they think of military, people who are in the military for their whole life. That is not the reality of today's military.
Sure.
Today's military, some people do one contract, some people do multiple contracts.
Yeah, but it does come with its with the level of cachet. I remember, and this has been years ago. I'm divorced now, but my ex-husband is a retired Marine Corps, and so we lived in Japan for a period of time. And when I was looking for a job, I was always put at the back of the line, and partly was because of that veterans preference. Anytime you're trying to go for a federal government position, that is always highly considered. So it is certainly a marketing tool, that coupled with the degree itself, again, countless doors open up for those individuals. Let's make a last minute appeal. I'll begin with you, Staff Sergeant. Let everyone know where you're located. Again, just kind of give us a little narrow scope of the benefits of joining the Guard while simultaneously working on your degree here at Albany State.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm located in the C building on the West Campus, upstairs in the Military and Adult Education's office, right across from Alex. We are, the National Guard, it pays 100% of your tuition. You get paid for 1 week in a month. You only have to work 1 week in a month. Of course, it's a Army component. So therefore, you still have to go through basic training and your job training. But after that, 1 week in a month. You graduate with a degree that's paid for, debt-free, and military experience, which sets you up far ahead of your peers who didn't decide to make the same choices that you made.
A quick question, Alex, before we go to you. I just want to confirm. See, I should have probably gone into the military. Is that just for your undergraduate degree, or can you then expand that to graduate, master's?
Graduate, master's.
Man, I messed up.
So yeah, we just talked to a student who may have their entire medical school paid for. And so these benefits, and they're not only the federal benefits, because I know students who say, well, I don't qualify for federal benefits. Oh, I don't qualify for state benefits. There's scholarships too. So that's my appeal is if you or your parents, and when I say parents, I mean your guardians.
Sure.
So this could be a step parent. It doesn't go to grandparents, but beyond, you definitely should be contacting our office to make sure you're not eligible for any GI Bill benefits. And my second appeal would be go talk to Staff Sergeant Phillips. She is so sweet and so nice. And she gives you the reality of what she thinks. So if she doesn't think that you're going to be right, she's going to tell you. And all it's going to do is expose you to an opportunity. And you don't know if that opportunity could be life-changing or not just because you walked into somebody's door. And so less than 30 minutes of your time could determine what your future looks like just because you said, you know what, I'm just going to take this chance. So you can contact her directly, or you can contact the Veterans Office, which is veterans@asu-rams.edu. And our phone number is 229-500-2070.
And our adult learners.
And our
other military personnel who may be active duty or retirees should also come by and see you. They too, may not be interested or eligible for National Guard, but should come to you, Alex, just to get some insight as to the services that we provide as an institution directly targeting them. Absolutely. And you can contact the same information. We do have a separate adult.ed@asu-rams.edu. So if you adult learners want to contact us directly that way, but we serve both populations. We have a computer lab with free printing. We have a lounge space. So even if it's not money, there may be additional resources we could connect you with. And so I always say we should be your first stop, and then we'll make sure you get connected to wherever you need to go, whether that's Todd, the new tutoring on demand, the writing center, or you want to get more involved in SGA. We'll help you find those connection points, because people think that adult learners don't want to be connected on campus. They absolutely do. And ASU provides those opportunities. It's not a 18-year-olds only can come in on our, Wednesday parties. Everyone can be involved in campus activities, and it's just a matter of you showing up. So I just really ask that you show up. Wonderful. Well, amazing ladies of Albany State University and the military. Thank you so much for your time today. Staff Sergeant, certainly your service and your contributions to our global community and certainly to the state. We greatly appreciate your service. Alex, always a treat to see you, and thank you for your work. You always have resolute excitement about what you do, and that just permeates throughout the campus. So I want to thank you. Looking forward to seeing you both. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today, your guidance and sharing of the outstanding services that we provide our adult learners here at Albany State University, and those interested in either serving in the National Guard, Army National Guard, or active duty or veterans have many services available here at Albany State University. And so make sure you stop by either of their or both of their offices to learn more. It's always a pleasure to have you as viewers of Realizing Potential, and I look forward to seeing you next time.